Hello and welcome to Tyranny. New game out from Obsidian and Paradox. And I want to try to play this game. I have not played it anything at all really. I have tried to record an episode earlier this evening, but it sort of failed recording wise. I got to create character and save that game, and I could jump right into it again if I wanted to. But I will go through the character generation again, and I'll just go through the same options. We went with normal, so that is, we have different settings here, but normal is what we'll go for. And I'll just sort of speed through the choices I made and not look at all the character generation in details.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tyranny brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Right, the stage is set, and it's the actual character generation, so I'll just go with what I did last, or something like this, I think. Yep, and then we went with particular hair, I don't know if I'll find you again, this one here, and a mustache, like so, and I think it was, where's the picture? This guy, yep, this is the guy we're going for. Hair color's black, and we had that this waist, I think.
On the lookout. I'm injured, tired. Let's rest.
Right, and I went with Hunter, which were found in a village of beast tribesmen and raised by them after our tribe got slaughtered and such. And then secondary expertise was frost spells. Oh, and actually I wanted to go one back. I think you have to choose something here. Yes, no? Hunter? No, you didn't have to choose anything. We just learned that ability. Okay. Primary, oh no, primary expertise. Javelin, that's the one. One with hard shot. And then secondary was frost. That was how I did it. Okay. I don't know if this is good or bad or anything. That's all fine. I made some sort of banner. You can find the logo again. I went here, and then I think I took this purple here, and I don't know. Now I'm checking different colors. I didn't actually do that last. So you want something? Let's go with purple here and light green. So if I go character colors purple, light green, like so. And my name, Conrad. Right, attributes, they recommend we take wit, might, quickness and resolve, so I'll just add 2 of them. I should probably specialize in one, but I have no idea what is good and bad in here, so I will just do that. And same with skills, I think I added like 4 points or something like that to those skills that I recommend, and then another few points in these. Like so, this seems fine. And then we went with the conquest mode, where we have different choices of how we will set up the game. And this actually took quite a while to read through all the options.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
And here comes the bit where we make some choices on how we actually did during the conquest. And let's see if I remember what I went for in the first episode. I'm not entirely sure to remember all of it. Anyway, the bastard city stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears, built upon natural harbor at the crossroads between the realms. The city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic stature as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' army. Take this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. And I think I went with the bit stealthy here, infiltrate the Tears. Yeah, history will remember the Gates of Judgment in the first battle of conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the captured city. Which army did we join? I don't remember exactly. You lent your skills to the elite Disfavored scouts, capture a border garrison. Graven Ash insisted on an early victory in the offensive would boost the morale of his troops and diminish the haughty overconfidence of the Southerners. And yeah, no, we went here with the Disfavored this time around. The Oathbound scouts identified a modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw the preparations and offered your opinions on the strategy. When the clashing of swords and spears fell in silence, followed by the cheers of the Disfavored scouts, you were the least surprised. And then Inside Agent or Containing the Fire, I believe we went with the Inside Agent. While the border garrison captured by your Disfavored allies, you traveled ahead of Kairos' armies and lurked in the shadows of the bastard city. You decided that convincing one of the locals to Kairos' side would help you bring the city to its knees. After all, corrupting starts from within. And then I went again with the Disfavored. You enlisted a bitter captain of the guard to sell military secrets to the Disfavored. Better Kairos forces march to their next inevitable victory well informed. The captain of the guard was of a mind that the bastard city was corrupt and deserving of a better leadership. You did nothing to convince him otherwise. After taking your promises of stature and security to heart, he offered you a list of valuable assets, from weakened stones and the ramparts to the state of siege provisions, capping it off with a list of city officials whose loyalties would likewise be turned to support your cause. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the bastard city ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city's defense for the arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the bastard city? And I don't remember which one I went with. Oh yeah, keeping to the shadows, you eliminated one of the leaders of the Kairos bastard cities. Eliminated the leaders of the bastard city one by one, and we got an ability out of that. Some deaths were quiet and unnoticed, while others were gruesome beyond words. As a wave of murder overtook the city's elite, your deeds swelled in infamy. Well before the armies arrived, no one in the bastard city felt safe in their homes, much less behind their walls. By the time Kairos' forces crested the horizon, the city was fearful enough to throw open the gates and welcome their new protectors. And then we went to Apex, I believe. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy, and with every tower displaying Kairos' banner, your name was whispered alongside rumors of decorated careers to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tunon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as a judge and overseer on the settlement of Lethian's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. And we went with Apex, if I remember correctly, and I did from my previous character generation. Apex. The mountain nation of Apex, ruled for generation by the queen of the House of Vendrian, stood at the heart of the tiers. No army could bypass the landlocked realm without leaving their flank exposed to attack. By the second year of the war, the disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus has pushed deep into the tiers. Elements of both armies were dispatched to conquer Apex. Tunon assigned you to accompany them, asked with bringing Kairos' law to the territory as well as keeping an eye on both armies. Denial of strength. I don't remember exactly where I went here. A school of water mages loyal to the tribesmen posed a substantial threat. The disfavored wished to annihilate the school, while the Scarlet Chorus insisted on capturing the mages, wishing to learn of their craft. You sided with disfavor. All mages had a chance to surrender before the war, and trying to capture the enemy will lead to needless losses. Which way did I want to go here? The Battle of Enduring Pass. The disfavor sent out the most destructive ally to crush the Enduring Fort. Cairn, Archon of Stone, buried the stronghold under an avalanche, triggering from the surrounding mountains. The Scarlet Chorus was promised captured enemies for recruitment, yet none survived in the onslaught. The Chorus demanded representation. Yeah, I went this way. You congratulated the disfavored by taking the pass without risking the lives of Kairos' loyal servants. At this stage of the campaign, it was vital to use any advantage that would mitigate any losses. That's the one I actually went with. The Scarlet Chorus' claims were insignificant compared to the lossless victory. You congratulated the disfavored and encouraged the Scarlet Chorus to better value their soldiers' lives. A suggestion that gang bosses took worse than the original offense. Vowing to remember this, the slighted army returned to camp to sulk, if not to lick their wounds. Then we have a marriage bed armistice or Sword of the Fallen. We went with this one here. The enemy readied for a peacetime festival as Kairos forces armed for battle. The disfavored paid no mind to the southern custom and planned to attack the Varangian forces during their annual celebration. The Scarlet Chorus insisted on a day of non-violence. As former tribesmen, many could grasp the decency of a temporary reprieve, and we granted that reprieve. So that was here. You offered the locals their last feast, sending a few Scarlet Chorus agents into the mix in good faith. The army hoped that the gesture would foster an air of partnership for the occupation to come. The festivities went off as expected, and the Scarlet Chorus recruits you sent to enjoy themselves reported little animosity among the revelers. The disfavored protested your ruling as too merciful, and waged all-night training drills to combat the sound of celebration with an anthem of swords and shields. You sent forces to attack the following day, a battle from which the disfavored recused themselves out of protest. With the defeat of Apex and inevitability, the armies of Kairos met to discuss how to put an end to this stage of the conquest. Both armies agreed to send an officer of parley along with their acceptance. The enemy requested that you appear at the meeting. Word of your fair dealings had apparently spread to their ranks. How did you orchestrate the surrender of the realm of Apex? And we did mediate and such. Through days of mediation, you negotiated the surrender of the Valley of Kairos forces, putting an end to further bloodshed. So I'm not truly evil, I'm just more practical, it looks like. Then again, I assassinated loads of people. Here. Your former enemies were loath to part with their lands, but they were even more reluctant to continue a war they were losing at every turn. The tribesmen are a stubborn lot, and despite their grim situation, it still took days of discussion and diplomacy to show them the madness of tenacity. On the third day of mediation, the rulers of Apex finally submitted to your terms of surrender, putting an end to the war in the valley and freeing up Kairos' forces to march deeper into the Theirs. The land of Apex finally rested in the hands of Kairos' forces. The Scarlet Chorus paused to revel in victory, while the disfavored prepared for the next fight, affording them but an evening's rest. Kairos' armies radiated out from the conquered citadel and worked their way across the Theirs. The disfavored and Scarlet Chorus aimed to dominate as much territory as possible in the coming war. Your distinguished reputation in Kairos' military left the choice of your next destinations yours to make. And we went to Ashur. So that's where we're going this time as well. Just to make the same choices I did in my previous attempt. There are plenty of other choices here, but I'm not going to read all of them as I did last time around. Ashur, the nation of Ashur, once the richest settlement of the Theirs, sat on a vermont fertile plain. As the disfavored clashed with the Asur's defenders, the Scarlet Chorus contended against the region's tribal beastmen, who protected their ancestral lands with incredible fury. Kairos dispatched the Archon Cairn to break the stalemate and force Ashur into submission. The colossal man of stone and flesh arrived as instructed, but earning his cooperation was a tall order even for you. Stopped by shadows and destruction of Ashur. I think we were stalked by shadows. After a roaming pack of beastmen slaughtered and disfavored patrol, the Scarlet Chorus responded by laying claim to the beasts for their army, while the disfavored readied a company to enact vengeance. The disfavored legion considered the beasts beyond training, and the butchers of their northern brethren needed to be brought into justice. You denied the Scarlet Chorus spurner's claim and authorized the disfavored to enact the proper revenge. No, I went the other way. because we were sort of raised by beasts. You denied the disfavored their vengeance and joined the chorus in capturing the beasts. The disfavored needed to temper their rage and consider their vital concerns. Kairos' forces were far from home and needed all the help they could get. You joined the chorus in rounding up beasts, and though the pack's leader escaped, the rest were quickly subdued thanks to your aid. The voices of Narat mocked the disfavors, displeasure from afar, suggested that any of them were free to join his army if they felt they lacked training. Taming the Beasts, or Cairn's tribe. Don't remember exactly where I went here. Disfavored scouts reported sightings of a beastman packs using arcane spells. After their mages captured and dissected a few beasts for study, the aghast Scarlet Chorus demanded that all live beasts be sent to them for consideration. They accused Cain of introducing the beast to magic, and the disfavored of complicity as the obscured treasonous crime. You allowed the disfavored to continue their experiments, rational thought being outside their speed. No, I think I went with the other one, right? You sent any captive beastmen to the Scarlet Chorus. Cairn's treasury, if present, would be undercover in time, and the army's ranks replenished. The Scarlet Chorus was overjoyed at the prospect of inviting new muscle into their ranks and welcomed the beastmen with several days of initiation rituals. The disfavored took offense to the savages being permitted to join Kairos' military. Withdrawing to their camps, they huddled in council and whispered of the indignities the Scarlet Chorus heaped onto the beloved Northern Empire and what should be done about it. I'm not sure I did this one. The Edict of Stone. The Archon of Stone made a brazen declaration that Kairos had no claim to rule the Tiers. Soon afterward arrived that Kairos would dispatch his rebellious minions with an edict. You were known in the wild beast tribe that had flocked to Cairn, and it was decided that a familiar face should serve them as their punishment. Tunon selected you for the honor of proclaiming Kairos' Edict of Stone, a magical spell with the power to destroy the Archon. As he sensed his approaching doom, Cairn began assaulting Planesgate, the largest human settlement of the area, and it fell to you to send Kairos' forces into a suicide mission to halt Cairn's destruction while you completed the proclamation of the edict. And here we can send one army, the other, or both, and I went with sending both. So we'll do that again this time around. You believed that the only chance of slowing Cairn's assault was to commit the full force of Kairos' army against him. It was a desperate gamble, and you were wrong. There would be no one left alive to warn the other Archons of your failure. Still, you ordered both disfavored and Scarlet Chorus forces to march against the Archon of Stone while you read the Overlord's edict. The disfavored and Scarlet Chorus alike questioned the wisdom of this command. You were uncompromising. This approach was the only guarantee to halt the Archon's destruction. The disfavored phalanx shattered under Cain's fury, and the Scarlet Chorus mob was reduced to a smear under his foot. The city of Planesgate suffered little damage as all the armies kept Cairn occupied, a small beacon of hope among this devastation. As you read the Edict of Stone, the earth under the battlefield groaned open, spitting up outcroppings of rock that obliterated the surrounding landscape for miles. When the land heaved open to take Cairn, the Archon allowed it with serene acceptance. The Edict of Stone. With the lands blighted and unrecognizable, a realm of Azure was left utterly ruined by the events of the war. In times to come, the Tiers would call this blasted region the Stone Sea, for the treacherous rock formations and persistent quakes become the defining features of this once verdant land. So this seems to be written here twice. So you should take these two words out. The Scarlet Chorus established a spawning camp in the shattered rocky terrain and quickly absorbed those displaced by the upheaval of the lands. These hapless refugees were put to work as slaves and soldiers, and the Chorus slowly built themselves a makeshift fortress in the blighted, quake-ridden realm. Your tour of duty in the broken lands of Ashur was complete, and you didn't have long to rest before Tuanon called you into service once more. Continue.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance, but months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
Right, and in such a manner we got to the game itself, but I will deal with that in the next episode. I will take a break here and get back to gameplay in the next episode. Hope to see you again soon.